Every so often, you run across a piece of gear that really makes you question if you know the secret behind really great tone. Let's talk about the Vox Pathfinder 15R. This is a 15-watt all solid state amplifier, and it sounds as good as it looks. This is definitely the perfect entry level amplifier for anyone starting off on guitar. This is a one channel amplifier with the boost switch. You got your gain, you got your master volume, you have a 2-band EQ, which makes it really easy to set up. You got onboard tremolo, and believe it or not, you have an actual spring reverb in this amplifier. The Pathfinder comes with a custom built 8-inch speaker. And one of my favorite features of this amplifier is the fact that you could actually add an extension cap to it. For all intents and purposes, this amp was designed to be your first amplifier for new guitarists. I guess Vox just failed to realize how good these actually were. These kind of have a cult following. If you go on forums, look up Vox Pathfinder 15R, you'll see a bunch of people just arguing about what you could do with this amplifier. Personally, mine is completely stock. I love doing modifications to my stuff, and for whatever reason, this amplifier has remained the way I got it. It still even has some of the nail polish that the girl I bought it off from left on it. So what makes this amp so special? I think it really has to do with the tone. One of the most common modifications that are made to these amplifiers is just upgrading the speaker on this, which in itself brings a lot of controversy because a lot of people love the speaker that comes stock in these amps. My solution? Bro, just run it through an extension cab. These amps do an amazing job of capturing a good clean tone, as well as that edge of breakup, kind of crunchy sound that you expect amps like of the 60s to sound like. And while it's not a tube amplifier, I think it gets pretty close. So this is just going to be a quick demo of what this amp sounds like. I am capturing this with the microphone on my iPhone. I'm still working on trying to get my DAW system's recordings to be uploaded into video formats like this. So just bear with me, guys. My editing skills, however, have gotten better, so I should be able to upload a picture of what the settings on this amp is. One thing to note is that I am diming the reverb on this amp because I want y'all to hear what a spring reverb in a solid state amp like this sounds like. And just for reference, I am playing through my Jaguar Player 2 series in the middle position. I figured why not play a 60s style amp through a 60s style guitar. And just to make something a little bit more realistic, this is going to be my Affinity Telecaster that I'm playing. In the neck position, let's see what it does. So right now what I did is I engaged the boost. It's pretty dank, so I did roll off a little bit of the treble just to be a little bit more graceful with the high end. I'm still using the Telecaster. I'm going to be using the bridge position for this. I mean, that is pretty much what it is. A really great, clean platform amp, and also this really cool, almost sludgy, kind of ratty overdrive kind of thing, right? I rarely use it with the boost setting on, if I'm being honest, just because it could be a little overwhelming, and the style of music isn't really kind of fit for something like that. But, you know, it's always cool to have in hand. And mind you, if I had pushed the gain anymore, it starts to sound really fuzzy. You may like that, however, that's just not something that I normally use, so it's not something I really care for. That being said, I want to let y'all know that this was my primary gigging amp, basically after the pandemic was over. This thing was able to do anything that I asked for, and one thing that I loved about it was just the size, the volume that I was able to do, the very fact that it sounded really good mic'd up, and it was one of the amps that I used when I was performing with my band. These are kind of getting hard to come by. I feel like the hype is kind of slowly creeping up on them. And you know, I went online the other day and I think I saw some that were going for like 200 bucks. I think it's a little questionable to say the least. This was a amp that was sold for 129. So it going up in value kind of pisses me off. I'm pro consumer, I'm pro people, and like when people start to like put crazy prices on stuff that really don't have no business being that expensive, um, you know, it's a little concerning. That being said, this is the most bang for your buck amp that literally exists right now in the used market. Um, I would say that this kind of competes with like the Boss Katanas and like that kind of genre of amp that's like kind of happening right now. That's like pretty in vogue. But I mean, I think these came out in like the 2000, right? 2001 or something like that. Maybe 1999. They had a different grill cloth. They had like the black grill cloth. So all my emos, all my goth homies, they would have, you know, you guys would love them. This one is obviously more of that traditional AC15, AC30 kind of look. It's obviously why I gravitated towards it, because I mean, this is a shiner. It's always opened up amazing conversations. The amount of people that have seen me perform live and like was like, "Hey, what do you got back there?" And then they're just like, "Really? This thing?" So yeah, that clip is my band in a live setting with this amplifier mic'd up. I believe that my chain was the 5420 with the black tops going into a BB-AT preamp from Exotic. And yeah, guys, I mean, that is the potential of this amplifier. So if you're starting out on guitar and you need something that's kind of user friendly, get this. If you're someone who's trying to like find a cheap version of a Princeton Reverb, get this. If you're bored and have some cash, you know, laying around, give it to me. Thank you for everyone who's been watching these clips. Make sure to like it. Give me your opinions. I know there's people with these. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Feel free to share it and stuff. You know, I want this information out. I think we're past gatekeeping. I think we're past just being weird about gear. The musicians of today can't be successful without the knowledge of everyone before them. So be that person. You know, I think that's probably the most important thing that we can do as artists, as musicians, as engineers, is just share information so people could really hit their potential. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all soon.